Welcome to part 3 of reading and writing files in Python. In this video, the first thing we're going to go through is when a program writes data that has been entered by the user to a file, it's usually necessary to concatenate the new line escape sequence to the data before writing it. This ensures that each piece of data is written to a separate line in the file. So in this example here, we're going to ask the user to enter the name of 3 friends and save those in 3 separate variables. Then we're going to go ahead and open a file named friends in write mode so we can go ahead and write to that file. And then what we're going to do in these next 3 lines is we're going to write the names to the file, but what we're doing is we're appending that new line escape sequence so that each piece of data is written to a separate line in the file. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and close the file and let the user that the write mode has been successful. So we will go ahead, click on Run, and I will go ahead and enter my friends' names, Alice, Joyce, and Angie. The names were written to friends.txt, so if I go ahead and open up that file, Alice, Joyce, and Angie have been written to the file, and they've been written on separate lines. One thing you may want to do is to read a string and then strip the new line from it. So what we're going to do is we're going to open a program in here called strip new line. And what we're going to do is we're going to read the philosophers in our philosophers.txt file. We're going to read the 3 files from the file, 3 lines from the file. We're going to store them in 3 different variables, and then we're going to call the rstrip command. And what that does is it strips the new line character from each one of our strings. Then we're going to close the file, and we're going to print the data that was read into memory. So we'll go ahead and run this really quick. Click on Run Mode. And as you can see now, each one of the philosophers are printed on the next line instead of having that line space between each one of the names. So that is how you can go in and actually strip that new line character by calling the rstrip function on the string and then saving the new string in the same string variable. So what we're going to look at next is we're going to look at, in Python, you can use the A or append mode to open an output file in append mode, which means the following. If the file already exists, it will be erased. If the file does not exist, it will be created. When data is written to the file, it will be written at the end of the file's current contents. So let's go ahead and open up that file. So what we're doing here is we're going to open our philosophers.txt file, and what we're going to do then after we open it up is we're going to go ahead and append that information to the file. So we're going to add in 3 new philosophers, adding in our new line character at the end so they each appear on a new line. Then we're going to go ahead and close the file, and we're going to let the user know that data has been written to the philosophers.txt file. So I will go ahead and click off our run mode here. Looks like it's been successful. Let's go out into our actual file, open it up. And if I look at it in Notepad, the new philosophers have been appended to the file. So let me go ahead and delete this file. So what we're going to do is we're going to rerun the program, but since the file does not exist, what the append operation should do is it should create that file and add those three names to the philosophers.txt file. So we'll go ahead, click off run mode. We'll go back in, click on our philosophers.txt file, and now what it's done is it's overwritten Thomas Aquinas, or it's written Thomas Aquinas, Aristotle, and Confucius into that file. If I go back into my file write program and open that up, since we're in write mode, what should happen now is our philosophers.txt file should get overwritten with John Locke, David Hume, and Edmund Burke. So I will just go ahead and click this off because in write mode, if the file exists, it'll delete the contents and write the new contents to the file. So we will go back into our philosophers.txt file, and now we have those first three philosophers. So this just shows you basically what happens when you call the write W or write mode when a file exists, and what happens when you call the append mode if the file exists and if it does not exist. So basically that's all I wanted to cover in this video. So in the final video, what we're going to be covering is writing and reading numeric data and then using loops to process data in files. So we will talk to you